My question is that does the awareness, consciousness, and so-called God knew that it was or it is before the human kind come to the earth? As I said to you yesterday, the Hafiz said, Ibn Arabi says that I couldn't exist without you, and you couldn't manifest yourself without me.
That's true.
Yeah, and I said it to you yesterday that does it mean that the consciousness needs something, it is needy or not?
Well, it's just a translation. The need. It's true that the separate self cannot exist without the true and only self of infinite awareness. King Lear cannot exist without John Smith. It's also true that infinite awareness cannot manifest itself without the aid of a finite mind, just as John Smith cannot have 3 daughters unless he takes the form of King Lear. Does John Smith need King Lear? No, he doesn't need King Lear because he doesn't need 3 daughters. But if he wants to have 3 daughters, wants to, in inverted commas, if he wants to have 3 daughters, he must do it through King Lear. So if infinite consciousness wants to manifest itself, because in the infinite there is no form, because any form is finite. So in the infinite there is no form. So if the infinite wants to manifest, it's just a realm of potential. If the infinite wants to manifest that potential, it must limit its unlimitedness. The formless must become form. And the means by which the formless becomes form is infinite mind becomes finite mind. So this apparent limitation of infinite consciousness is into the finite mind, is the way unmanifest consciousness becomes manifest. It's the way the infinite becomes finite. It's the way the formless becomes form. It's the way the unmanifest becomes manifest. So if infinite consciousness wants, in inverted commas, or rather, in order to manifest its infinite potential in finite form, the infinite must become finite. In other words, it needs the finite mind. It needs to become, or it must become, a finite mind.
I know when you say it needs.
No, it's just a manner of speaking. In order to manifest form, the form is something finite. So in order to appear in form or as form, the infinite must seem to cease being infinite, because as long as it remains infinite, there's no form there. So in order to manifest its potential, the infinite has to appear as finite. Because that's what form is, finite. How could the infinite appear as form without seeming to become finite? You can't have an infinite form.
It's just because in all religion in the whole world, when they are talking about a God, they call him Almighty, or Almekti, and they say it in Danish. And something is almighty cannot have any need.
No, I agree. It doesn't have any need.
It's therefore I said in the first part of my question that does consciousness knew itself before the humankind come to the earth, because it needs something to.
No. The Sufis, Hafiz said, Hafiz as the person said to God, I depend on you for my existence, and you depend on me if you want to manifest the world.
Yeah.
That's different from saying you depend on me in order to know yourself. John Smith needs to assume the form of King Lear in order to have a relationship with Cordelia. But in order to know himself, he doesn't need to appear in the form of King Lear. Now, infinite awareness needs to assume the form of the finite mind in order to appear as the world. But in order to know itself, it does not need to assume the form of the finite mind. Indeed, in the form of the finite mind, the infinite cannot know itself, because everything the infinite knows through the finite mind appears in accordance with the limitations of that mind. So to suggest that God needs to assume the form of a finite mind in order to know itself is absurd. It's like saying, in order to see white snow, you have to put on orange-tinted glasses. No, in order to see white snow, you have to take off the orange-tinted glasses. Because with orange-tinted glasses on, everything appears in accordance with the color of the glasses through which you look. Well, if the infinite assumes the form of the finite mind and looks at reality through the finite mind, everything will appear finite because of the medium through which it is looking. So you cannot, with the finite mind, you cannot know yourself. You can only know something that is finite. The finite cannot know the infinite. Only the infinite can know the infinite. He knows himself by himself. He sees himself by himself. He reaches himself by means of himself alone. Only he knows him. His prophet is he. His messenger is he. His angel is he. There is no, his word is he. There is no intermediary or means other than him. He sent himself from himself, through himself, to himself. There is no distance or difference between the sender, that which is sent, and the one to whom it is sent. The very existence of the prophetic word or the non-dual teaching is his existence, because there is no existence to any other person or thing that could come into existence or have a name or be named.
Thank you very much. Love you.